Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Pewag all-square snow tire chains here on our 2021 Toyota 4Runner. Now these are going to be a ladder pattern style chain, which makes it really good for those starts and stops. Maybe not so great on the ride quality. Something like a diamond pattern will give you a little bit better ride quality, but again, you're putting chains on your tire. It's not necessarily about that quality of the ride, more about the traction, and these will definitely get some good traction, especially with these square links. They have a nice hard edge, they stick up from the tire quite a bit, they're going to have a lot of bite to them as opposed to something like a cable chain or even a twist link. Those are all typically more low profile and don't have as much bite. We will have a nickel manganese steel alloy construction, so that's going to help these be corrosion resistant and stand up to the weather for a long time. On the outside here, we don't have any sort of built-in cam tensioner, so you are going to want to pick up something like a rubber tensioner here. That's just going to help keep the chain on the tire nice and centered and keep that tension on there as you're going down the road. We do have this lever arm on the bottom that you'll feed through a link and pull back, and that does apply some tension, but there are some limitations to it, which is why we recommend having something supplemental to help out. The pair of chains are going to come in this bag here, which is a fair step up from some of the canvas bags you see in similar chains. Those ones tend to rip pretty much right away, but I still am not a huge fan of this just because it's not resealable and it's not going to be watertight. Personally, I just pick up a plastic tote and put the chains in there. Easier to just pop the lid off, drop the chains in and seal it up whenever you're done using them, and just keeps them neat and tidy a little bit more than something like this bag might. If you're looking for different options of tire chain, we do have some more low profile options like a cable snow tire chain. If you want something more aggressive, Pewag does have the studded truck tire chain. Those ones are going to be definitely off-road only, but if that's your kind of application where you need that extra bite, they've got those options. To get our installation started, we want to lay out the chain like this, make sure there's no twists or tangles in any of the links, and we want to take notice of where the chain is oriented. So on the end links here, the pieces that kind of connect to the outer chain, there's going to be a little hook piece that kind of curves in like this. We want the smooth portion to be face down. That's going to sit on top of the tire and actually be making contact with it. And then we want this lever arm to be oriented to the outside. That's so we can actually get to it whenever the chain is on the tire and tighten it up. Once all that's good, we can take the chain by the middle here and carefully drape it up and over the tire. While we're doing this, we want to try to maintain that center. Right about there looks pretty good to me. And we can see these two pieces will come together in the front, and we can go around back to make the first connection. So on the side closest to you, you'll notice we have a series of free links, and then near me here, we have a hook. Those ends will go together. Now we don't have to necessarily just hook this on the outermost link. I'm actually going to go for probably the second link if I can keep my hands on it. This is the one bad thing about this style of chain, is having to make this connection on the ground, but we can make that connection there and move around to the front. Now at the front, we don't have to use the outermost chain link here. I'm probably going to go for this third one here, and we can feed our lever arm through that, fold it back onto itself, and it'll hook onto a free link here. Now right away I can see it's pretty loose. So we have some options. We can go around to the back and hook it on a tighter link back there, and or do the same thing up here. I'll start by just going down one more link on the front here until we find about where we want it. Ideally, when we fold this lever arm back like this, we should feel some tension. And then we can loop that in to the free link again, if we're able. There we go. And that'll actually hold some tension on the tire chain here. Now, I might prefer to go back to the link in the back, move that down one so it's not so much excess up in the front here, but it's all about finding the right fit for your tire. Typically, we're also going to recommend a rubber tensioner to just take up some of the extra slack that is still left in the chain here, especially once we roll over it a few times, it'll kind of settle in, and you will want one of these. Now, we especially want this because we don't have any built-in cam tensioners. Pewag does have options that will include that. I'd maybe look into one of those, but that is just up to you and what you need your tire chain for. So I'll just do this in a star-shaped pattern, try to space it out as evenly as I can, and you can see the tension that's putting on all of these links here, and it's holding the chain much more firmly in place. At this point, we can install the other side, drive forward a few times just to let those chains settle in like we talked about, jump out of the car, check on them, make sure everything's still sitting fine, make any adjustments if we need to, and then we're clear to hit the road. And that'll do it for our look at the Pewag snow tire chains here on our 2021 Toyota 4Runner.